Alright, welcome back. And today's video is going to be a little bit different because I know we're still in the middle of the 1.5 anniversary and we're getting new people. New people are interested in playing. Or they're trying to figure out their game plan. They're trying to figure out who to reroll for. What's the game plan here? And I wanted to give a little bit of insight on that because, I mean, a year and a half ago, there was nowhere near as much Nikkes as there are now, especially during a 1.5 anniversary event. Things are a little bit different, so I wanted to talk about rerolling. So, first things first, Nikke's not that bad when it comes to rerolling. Your best bet is to use a salted email. That's what I used. And to use a salted email, I believe you need a Gmail. Don't quote me on that, but I think you need a Gmail. And the way it works is that, let's say your first run, you weren't happy with what you got, so you're re-rolling again. Instead of using another email, because that's a hassle, you're going to use the same Gmail, but at the end of your Gmail, you're going to add a +1. That's a +1 at gmail.com. And let's say you're not happy with that one. +2, +3, and so on and so on. You get it. Even though it's going to be technically different according to the game, all the notifications you get for verification codes and stuff will go to that same Gmail. So you don't have to worry about it. I mean, for me, I locked in my account at a +10. So, you know, I took a bit to reroll, I did. But I was happy getting Privity. I know that wasn't everybody's picks, but that was my pick, and I was happy with it. So what's the game plan with rerolling? Well, it's a little bit different, right? Because there is a guaranteed tutorial banner SSR, and then you probably get some blue vouchers to use, and then we also get freebies right now because of the event to use for the Pilgrim banner. So what's the game plan? Well, first off, let me just say right now, if you're pulling on the tutorial banner, do not focus on Pilgrims because Pilgrims are not in the tutorial guaranteed SSR banner. They're not there. So be realistic with what you want because Pilgrim banners are not in there. Now, for a Pilgrim banner that you can get, let's talk about it. So, in my opinion, I think the biggest priority is getting Crown. Crown is the biggest priority here because she is a meta burst 2 who provides a lot of buffs for her team, and you don't even need a lot of copies of her. You just need the one copy because we're focused on her skills that provide the buffs. But the issue with this, and it might come to a lot of re-rolling issues, is that her banner is under a 4% chance, but for her rate up banner, specifically Crown, is 1%. That's not easy. You know, with normal banners, an SSR is 4% with a 2% chance, so that's 50-50. That's a little bit different here. That's tough. It really is tough. Is it possible to do it in a reroll? Of course it is. It's going to take probably a few tries, definitely. And that's why I think trying to focus on getting Crown is your biggest priority. Because if you can get her in the pulls that we get, then you're already winning. And outside of Crown, let's talk about normal Nikkes. So, obviously you do get pulls outside of the guaranteed SSR, but I wanted to specifically talk about the tutorial banner, because even though it does not have Pilgrims, there's still a lot of Nikkes that we can try to choose from. And I wanted to talk about it. Since there's so many Nikkes in this roster, let's go through them by one at a time. Let's go burst 1, burst 2, burst 3. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say it. I think Litter, still, even to this day, since the start of the game, she is an insane burst 1 who gives a lot of buffs for her team. She is a burst with a 20-second cooldown, and someone has yet to surpass her in terms of flexibility and just being a powerhouse. Even though I don't care for her looks, she still does justice for her kit, and she is insane. However, if you really don't like her design, and you really just want a good burst 1, second best alternative, D-Killer Wife. I don't have her, sadly. D-Killer Wife is lovely. I love her design, and her kit's SS. She's great. If you get a sniper DPS, she will provide piercing buffs for that sniper rifle DPS. So keep in mind that she will be useful. And she is a 20-second burst cooldown. So I think she's fantastic, and she is a good alternative pick. I wouldn't be mad if you chose this. What are some other options? Honestly, I think those two should be your focus for burst 1s. But if you really want, we also have volume. Now, if you don't care and you're just focusing on waifu, then go for it. Go for whatever you want. I mean, I remember a lot of people played because of volume existing, right? And she's pretty okay. She's a good CDR reduction unit with a 20-second burst cooldown. Amazing assets. But I think that the other two meta-wise are much better. But once again, you play how you want to, right? You choose who you want to. I'm not stopping you here. I mean, this is me personally, but I love Pepper. I still think Dr. Pepper is amazing. She's great. And I remember she carried me through a lot, and still one of my most underrated Nikkes in my opinion. I wouldn't be mad if you chose this character either for a Burst 1. But honestly, outside of Burst 1s, I think that's it in terms of recommendations. Jackal's up there too, if you want to play PvP. If you think you're going to play PvP, she is a powerhouse in PvP, and she's still a part of the meta. She's insane in PvP. Let's talk Burst 2, though. So with Burst 2s, it's a little bit different, because just like Burst 1, Burst 1s, we had Tia. And Tia is a schoolgirl, and she is a part of a team that we call the Duos. Now, we have two manufacturers with Duos. We have Tetra and Missilis with Duos. And I'll get to that in a second. So the problem with the duo characters is, let's say for Burst 2, you notice that you see Naga. You love her schoolgirl design, you love her dark skin, you love everything about her. Problem with her is that you might want to have Tia. You might want to have Tia because when they work together, they're fantastic. That being said, though, Naga is a really good character to go with Crown because her skill 2 given to Crown does a lot for the team. So if you really want to try to maximize your team and you want to get Naga, go for it. I wouldn't be upset, but definitely don't try to focus on getting just Tia. At least Naga can kind of work by herself. Can't really say the same for Tia. Now, for other Burst 2s, I remember Senti used to be a huge powerhouse. I remember it used to be Liter, Senti as like the main part of your roster back then, and now it's a little bit different. Senti's still an amazing pick, amazing shields that she provides the team. She's awesome. I still think that she's a great Burst 2, but if you're getting Crown, I really don't recommend focusing on getting a Burst 2 outside of Naga, because you're already going to have Crown, and she's an amazing Burst 2. She's probably going to be the best Burst 2 out there. But the support that Naga provides her is good. Or if, let's say, Blanc catches your eye. Biggest issue with that is that she needs to be with Noir, which is her Burst 3 counterpart. Because without Noir, she has, I think, a 40-second cooldown. But with Noir, she has a 20-second cooldown. And that makes a lot of a difference in terms of bursting. And you're leaving a lot of DPS on the table if you choose to disregard that, in my opinion. With that being said, I really don't recommend a lot of, outside of some options I'll try to give you, despite Crown, which is your main priority in the polling banner. I think that Naga's still a great choice to pair. Senti's amazing. I love Marciana's design. And I love that the healing that she provides, as well as some of the blocking that she does for the team. She's great. I love her design. It's great. Now, for me personally, design-wise, I love E-Leg. I'm just sorry, I love Tummy. So, I'm just gonna say it. My personal simp pick is E-Leg. Just saying. But let's move on a little bit to Burst 3. Now, this is where I really want to talk, because this is where all the biggest options are. So, Privity, you really don't need to worry about, because you'll get a copy of her after you complete the, I think it was like the tutorial, like day-by-day thing. I forget. But you do get a free copy of her, I believe. So I wouldn't worry too much about not having Privity. But she's still solid. I think out of all of these, honestly, outside of Pilgrims, I think Alice is a great investment. I love how she looks. And if you fully invest in her, she can be a top DPS even in the meta currently out now. She is insane. Now, with that being said, let's say you don't want Alice. What else do we got? Well, I remember I used D a lot, and she was great, especially for an Elysian. And she provides a good bit of burst generation right off the start. I like D, but she's not a must-pick Burst 3. I still think Alice is up there. I would want to say Noir if you really want to. If you're this down bad, Noir can function without Blanc. She is the Naga compared to the schoolgirls, right? Naga and Noir can work alone. It is not recommended, but it's possible. And I love her design. She's fantastic. So I wouldn't blame you if you chose Noir for your Burst 3. You really tried focusing on that. Now, don't forget that you also get a free SSR Burst 3, which is Kilo. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide. That being said, though, I also wouldn't be mad if you chose any of the Mattis teams. If you chose Drake, because she's an amazing shotgun. She does a good amount of damage. And I remember Laplace, if you invest in her, her burst can be an insane laser beam. And she can do a lot. And she was, I believe, I want to say maybe the second or third banner that was in this game. So you could go with the Mattis squad. Because even Maxwell is solid. And she provides a lot for the team. So I wouldn't be upset if you chose that. But I still think Alice might be the strongest pick. Privity's up there, but you already get a copy of her. D, even Helm's pretty good because she's a good burst 3 healing. With a heal. And I love her design. There's so many characters that I want to recommend because their designs are S tier, but in terms of kits, it's just not viable. Honestly, if I was you and I was simping, I honestly wouldn't mind if Noir. I think that's a pretty solid pick. But that's just my low-tier brain opinion on re-rolling recommendations. Now, outside of what you get from the tutorial and the Pilgrim banner, you still get pulls, so who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky and get a Pilgrim. And if you do, good luck. I hope you make the most of it, and honestly, don't stress that much about re-rolling. I think I wanted to really say that. Because you're going to get a lot of stuff throughout the game, and sure, you might not get every character you want, but you'll still have a fun time. And I feel like re-rolling a lot, you'll just get obsessed with it, and it might burn you out. So just have fun with the event, and make the most of it. And that's it for me. I just wanted to make a quick semi-tutorial / opinion about who to re-roll for. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful time with this anniversary. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to do Story 2 when that comes out. I'm already itching to do all the other stages of the mini games. I'm loving everything. But for now, that's it from me. You guys have a lovely night or day wherever you're from. Take care and goodbye.